Good, good evening, everyone who join us for tonight's info session of Business Sustainability Management Program. It's nice that you're pouring in. And while we're waiting others to join, let me briefly introduce you how everything is going to be handled tonight. So it's my greatest, first of all, pleasure for you to introduce our new program in sustainability. Recently, a few weeks ago, ISM announced that we are moving toward sustainability direction in our strategic plans. This includes opening and launching the new sustainability program about which we are going to speak tonight. As well, we opened a sustainability center which basically will be engaged in various research activities and collaboration with business. So tonight, let me briefly inform you how we will move on, okay? So first of all, I will invite the program director to tell us more about this fascinating and new program, which we recently launched. Afterwards, we will move forward to the welcoming and having a short discussion with the program professor from Germany, who collaborated with us in creating this and designing this program. Later on, we will have a short chat with the business representatives and as well the members of ISM ESG Council, who as well strongly and really heavily collaborated with us in the design process of this program. And afterwards, at the end of this session, we will go through the general information about the admission. And in case you have any questions, we will be able to tackle them at the end of the session in the Q&A part, okay? So I strongly encourage everyone who joined us already to ask questions in the chat box in the Zoom platform at ism.zoomtv.lt. And in case you want me to address a question of yours to a specific speaker of tonight, please identify it in the comments section, okay? So without further ado, let us start the info session of Business Sustainability Management Master's Program. And it's my great honor to present to you and ask to come to the screen the program director, Virginia Pushkuta. Good evening, Virginia.
Good evening, Mingaile. Good evening to everyone. It is my pleasure and joy to present new program that I'm very glad to be part of. And as Mingaile mentioned, this program was developed with collaboration a lot of our partners and stakeholders. So this is particular honor for me to present joint efforts and results of that, our very nice collaboration in developing, I believe, very high quality educational products. So I would like to share with you several slides that briefly will introduce the program, the logical sequence, some main ideas and how the program is designed. Okay, so sorry. Okay, so the program intends to prepare sustainability leaders in a very broad sense. The program was designed, as I mentioned already, in collaboration with several stakeholders, representatives from different institutions. However, I would like to mention our specific collaboration in developing this program with Circular Economy Alliance, based in Paris, in France, uniting different stakeholders coming from variety of institutions, as well as one of the schools, École des Ponts, that is known for its well-elaborate programs on various levels in sustainability issues. So we are very glad about this collaboration with those two very prominent institutions from very beginning of the program design. Before starting to talk about the program, I would like to briefly introduce myself. I'm an economist and social policy analyst, and as you can see, in one column there are academic institutions that either I'm affiliated, I was affiliated, I studied or worked for. And one of the institutions that is mentioned at the corner, Berkeley University, this is the institution that I'm currently, I am present. I'm here on a scholarship. And different institutions also that I mentioned. So I was either part of those institutions, collaborated or studied in them. Also, sustainability issues were part of my job since long time ago. Starting with UNDP program, for which I worked when UNDP was still present in Lithuania. Later on, I worked for other international organizations in various projects and collaborative initiatives, as well as Institute on Social Economic Research in Luxembourg. So those are institutions that that I have experience with and worked for. So sustainability is part of my daily issues that I was dealing with and I'm still dealing with, mostly from social angle. So this is about me and my expertise in sustainability issues. The program was designed aiming to prepare leaders in sustainability who are able to critically evaluate environment, who are able to analyze global markets, who are able to predict changes, forecast changes. Sustainability leaders who have skills and competences to design strategies of sustainable company. Also, experts and leaders who can solve global and local theoretical and practical sustainability issues. Also, we aim and we will devote significant parts in the program on development of competences and skills in order to be able to evaluate organizations' impact on environment and communication of it to society. How this program is unique and how it is different from other programs on sustainability that are available in the region. So one issue that makes the program unique, that we are aiming at holistic approach to sustainability across all dimensions, environmental, social, and governance dimensions, which is not the case in many of the programs that are present at the moment. Another uniqueness of the program that we are aiming to develop skills in relation to sustainability strategies in real life. Another very important aspect is that we would like to develop competences of specialists that are able to measure impact. And also, what is very important as well for sustainability experts and leaders in sustainability, to be able to evaluate and analyze sustainability practices along all value chain. Very often, those initiatives that a lot of organizations are currently are involved and are declaring about sustainability practices are aimed at internal activities within organization. However, very often the biggest impact on environment in different dimensions is made outside of organization. So we would like to develop those skills that graduates of this program would be able to see impact along all value chain. Another very important uniqueness of the program that we will be offering a study tour to Paris, where we are planning to visit leading companies with sustainability initiatives that are already implemented or being implemented. So those are unique features that we envisage to be able to deliver to new students of this program. The logical sequence of the program is of 3 parts. So first part is assessment of problems and defining objectives. And in relation to this part of the program, we designed 2 courses on global sustainability agenda and ESG accounting, and economics of climate change. So why it is relevant, why it is important, and different aspects of sustainability that are relevant to different organizations. Next stage in the program is about crafting new generation sustainability strategies, while old models, old business strategies are not suitable anymore. So we will start with sustainable strategies and new business models. We'll be following with business and society relationships, and we'll be discussing creating shared value concepts and models. Later on, very important part of the program will be on sustainable finance and investments, because this is the area that probably is most active at the moment in terms of sustainability initiatives, and extremely relevant for all business activities. Within this part of the program, we are going to discuss social and sustainable business innovations. And third part of the program, we will finish with implementation of sustainable strategies and impact assessment. So here we will be offering courses that will be aiming at development of competences in sustainability analytics, technological aspects in relation to sustainability analysis. So we'll be offering all separate course on artificial intelligence solutions and ethical challenges in relation to that, managerial accounting course for sustainable business development, and course on sustainable supply chain management. So those are the main courses that are offered within curriculum of the program. And the program will be finalized with master's thesis that will be linking all the courses together, and it will be development of hands-on practical projects in relation to different aspects of sustainability. Who will be teaching in the program? So I'm very glad to present some of the professors who will be part of the program, and I'm very happy that today my dear colleague René Schmidt-Petter will be present, and he will be also sharing his insights about the program and the relevance of sustainability issues in academic arena. So René Schmidt-Petter, Kristina Maikštėnienė. Kristina Maikštėnienė, she is my dear colleague from ISM University, but I am very glad to mention that all those my ISM colleagues that will be teaching in the program, they have extremely wide and very extensive international experience. So Kristina is one of them. So Kristina is graduate herself of Kellogg School of Management, Northwestern University, and also she has really very extensive international experience herself in different emplois. Saman Sarbazvatan, he is representing École des Ponts, one of our partners in designing of the program. He will also be teaching and will be part of the program. My dear colleague Ieva Martinaitytė from University of East Anglia, and also visiting professor at ISM University. Renata Legenzova, also our professor at ISM University, and Dr. Adam Richards. He will be covering aspects of evaluating social impact business and on society. So he's representing Social Value International Organization in UK. Myself and my colleague from ISM, however, he's of Canadian origin and also with very international educational and professional background, Jonathan Boyne. So those are people that will be teaching in the program. Why this program? So I presented you with uniqueness of the program, but a few more points I would like to emphasize why this program could be considered as relevant for studies if you are interested in sustainability issues. The program will be relying very much on hands-on experiences. So we'll be having local and international company visits. We have extensive collaboration with ISM ESG Council members who will be guest speakers, guest experts within different courses that will be offered within the program. Also, in the program, different aspects of sustainability assessment, accounting, and reporting will be integrated into different courses. So it will be really not very theoretical, but very hands-on experience for the students. As I mentioned already, also sustainability topic will be analyzed from very holistic perspective, taking into account different aspects of sustainability. And the program is designed to reflect the latest developments, latest theories, and latest practices that should be reflected in the curriculum of the program. And the program is suited for students from very different range in backgrounds, very different range in bachelor study fields. So this is about the program. Those are our intentions. And I'm very glad that today among our presenters will be having colleagues from our partners who were helping to develop and design the program. So I'm stopping here and getting back to Mengailis. And I'm also looking forward to Mengailis presenting my dear colleagues who will be also sharing their expertise in sustainability issues. So thank you.
So thank you, Virginia, for sharing the information and presenting the program. It was really nice to listen to your presentation. While you've been presenting, we already received several questions. I believe we will be able to touch them later in the discussion. But before moving to the next part, I would specifically would like to address one question that was asked by Simona. She was asking to what extent in the program, if at all, the circularity topic, the circular business models and supply chains, circular innovation will be touched throughout the program. Maybe you can specify on this before moving to the next session part.
Sure. Thank you very much for the question, and I'm very glad about those particular questions. Since circular economy is a very significant part of the curriculum, and as I mentioned from very beginning, Circular Economy Alliance was part of designing curriculum of the program itself, and one of the courses will be paying particular attention, a course on new business models, and so it will be really very much covered within that course, but of course, circular economy aspects and analysis will be covered throughout most of the courses in one or another aspect. But particular attention will be paid within one of the courses for sure. We have already course description that specifies very specific aspects of circular economy.
Perfect, nice to hear. Thank you, Virginia, for the presentation once again. And let's move to the second part of this session. So I would like to invite to the screen the fascinating professor of this program, René Schmidt-Peter, who is from International University from Germany. Good evening, Rene. Can you hear us? Can you see us?
Yeah, hello everybody. Good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Hope you're also fine.
Perfect. So, Rene, you've been one of these experts who helped to develop this program. Okay, so we're really grateful for your contribution to this program. And I have several questions for you, okay? So before moving to them, maybe you could briefly introduce yourself, your background, how are you related to the sustainability field?
Yeah, as said, my name is René Schmidt-Peter. I'm based in Germany, but also have a professorship in Switzerland and live with my family in Austria. So I feel myself very much as a European. And yes, I was educated as a management professor with a focus of finance in the 90s. And when I was educated, sustainability was not much of an issue. Yeah? So we were very much learning the basics of management, financial theory, and probably what all normal managers know a lot about. But starting in 1999, I, for myself, realized that the economic developments we saw are somehow going in a direction which cannot continue forever. And there was a lot of discussion also about how the future will look like, whether we need to go back and basically sacrifice on business opportunities. And there I somehow realized, together with some colleagues, that we need to go forward. Yeah, so we need to use and take advantage of business models and business opportunities in order to advance sustainability. So it was basically also through my PhD in philosophy where I learned that it's also very much somehow related to your mindset. Yeah, if you have a mindset where you have a trade-off between sustainability and management, you somehow cannot get out of this box. But once you see that sustainability is basically a driver of innovation, it's a driver for management opportunities, somehow the world looks completely differently. And I then was hired by a couple of different institutions, a big foundation, but I also worked for governments in order to really think sustainability in a new way, not as an add-on, not something which you do on Sunday, but really do everyday business. And actually, that's where I'm coming from. And that's what I also see as unique in this program. And I'm, of course, very honored to work for ISM as a visiting professor there, and that you invited me to also contribute this perspective, because I see now that we are on a crossroad. Yeah? As everyone knows, the complexity worldwide is inflating. Yeah, so we see the international supply chains collapsing. We see the need for alternative energy sources. We see the need for new ways of mobility. And of course, we can say somebody needs to do it, but who is going to do it? It will be business. Yeah, and I think this is now also that we are at the crossroad of developing a new paradigm of business. And I think this is one of the first international master programs where students and business people really can learn all they need to successfully lead a company, all the basic management skills, but always related to this new kind of mindset, which is one very strong focus here, that we really want to overcome the old trade-off thinking, which is unfortunately still in some other business programs still relevant. So we want to overcome this, but also combine it with the new technologies like artificial intelligence, as we heard. So that's basically, I feel very related to the program because it's really touching to the new mindset all managers, leaders should and will have in the future.
Okay, I really enjoy your point, saying that it's not an add-on, but should be add-in. So it's a kind of philosophy of organizations, right? And your experience is really breathtaking. So you've been working in various universities, right? So I believe you've been exposed to these different programs that exist in Europe, particularly, for instance. Maybe you can somehow try to compare how the structure of this program is distinctive in academic, practical perspectives, and let's say in the composition of the faculty.
So in the past, of course, there were sustainability programs, and companies were particularly asking for sustainability officers and education for them. But now the scope is much larger. It's not that we need sustainability officers, we need in all management fields people who have this new mindset and this sustainability skills. So I think this is what also differs or makes this program very unique, is that we give a broad education in management, which is necessary, because you still need skills which were developed over the last decades in management, the latest skills, but always with the scope of sustainability. And that makes it unique because it's not kind of a either or, it's not either management or sustainability. It's also not challenging economic thinking. It is basically transferring and transforming economic and business thinking into a direction where it leads to new business innovation. And I think this is really a very interesting scope, and other universities I know are working on similar programs, but they still are not there. So basically, this is causes this new way of transforming also business administration and management as such. And I see that in the future, of course, many programs and many universities will follow. But of course, as you know, in business, it's always important to be the first mover. And I really see this is one of the international programs which are considered to be as the first movers. And I'm really also not only surprised, but impressed by the professionalism and the international collaboration which brought this program into being.
Really nice to hear this. We really appreciate your personal contribution to this program, and having you on board, it's our great honor. So thank you, René, for this time, and I will invite you to come back to the screen in the Q&A session. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Cool. We are moving according to the agenda of today, and this is a time for us to have an insights and view and perspective from the business angle. Right, so it's my great pleasure to invite to the screen the members of ISM ESG Council. First member is Mariano Andrade Gonzalez, who is as well serving as the country head at Moody's Lithuania. Good evening, Mariano.
Hi, Mingelis. Good evening.
Thank you. And as well, I would like to invite to the screen Karolina Semyonovaite, who is a sustainability manager at Swedbank, and as well a member of ISM ESG Council. How are you doing, Karolina?
Hello, good evening. Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you, both of you, okay? So let me start and kick off with you, Mariano. So Mariano, you've been a partner of ISM for a while, pretty much from the beginning of coming to Lithuania. Personally, Moody's Lithuania contributed well to the 100 Talent program, as well contributed to the Sustainability Center of ISM. So you've been for quite time in a journey with ISM, right? So you personally are well into this ESG topic and sustainability, and I believe your company is really related to this topic. So what's really interests me, how this program at the moment is needed in the market, and particularly, for instance, in Moody's perspective.
Yeah, very good question, Mingelis. I think, first let me give you a little bit of context on our business as Moody's. I think that the sustainability piece and the ESG piece is something that we have already integrated as part of our core business. And it's divided in three big pillars, better business, better lives, and better solutions. So when we speak about the collaboration that Moody's has had with ISM since the beginning of Moody's journey in Lithuania, fits in our sustainability strategy on better lives, right? The way we're going to be impacting the community. And one of the ways that we think in Lithuania we can make a sustainable impact is through education. When it comes into why this program and why we want to be so much involved in it, is because, as René and Virginia mentioned in her presentation, and René very well articulated in his philosophy angle of it, sustainability and ESG is something that has been happening already for quite some time. Depending on which area of ESGs you're going to be taking, there has been different efforts and different attempts in the past 2 decades, but without a consistent approach and without having a standard. So now the fact that we have already a taxonomy and that we have a way forward is the businesses are going to be obliged. Some of us, we are already obliged to disclose some of that data. Some of us have in certain countries a regulatory report where we need to disclose some of the data. What I think is going to happen in the very near future is that it's going to become more widely spread, at least in the European Union, where you will have to disclose and you will have to test, make an attestation and validate the data that you're disclosing. So the angle that I think when I spoke to ISM that was missing is the education system. You know, for us, it's going to be an integral part on how do we upskill and reskill people. It will be much better if there is already a university degree that is coming with that angle on sustainability. How do we measure it? What is it about? And how it's going to get implemented. And the collaboration with the business, you know, with Carolina and Carolina representing Swedbank and me representing Moody's, well, it's pretty clear. We have the need for those roles, whether it's inside sustainability as a pillar or data analytics or sustainability, accountability and accounting and or selling solutions in the future. So it is very timely. Happy to be here. That was a long answer.
But a good one. I really enjoy your idea beforehand. Then we have another event that you said, what you cannot measure, you cannot achieve it, right? So I believe this impact assessment angle is really important for Moody's, right?
It is imperative, yes.
Cool. And this program will prepare wide variety and with multiple skills professionals. But maybe you could name certain competences that Moody's, for instance, are looking for, and what kind of skills should these sustainability experts hold to be successful in their careers?
Well, first and foremost is what I like about Virginia's explanation on the program is that it is really covering a big amplitude of things. You know, we're going to have to talk about climate change, responsible sourcing, data privacy, cybersecurity, culture, diversity, equity, and inclusion, health and well-being. I mean, you name it. It goes on and on and on and on the list. So putting into perspective that you shouldn't be tackling all the E on ESG or the S or the G, or you're doing better on the S but not so good on the G, is not something that is acceptable anymore, right? You need to understand the whole concept of ESG and sustainability as part of your strategy, whether it's a business or for you as a business, and or something that you're gonna present as a potential entrepreneur that you want to measure. So what are the key competences? First of all, is that understanding what ESG and what is the impact that is going to make in the planet, in your lives and in your business. The second competence is we really need to have a good education program on data analytics. What is it that you're going to be measuring? And what is the standard that you're going to be measuring up against? And then the third pillar that I would say is going to be quite imperative for now is very, very well articulated, as René put it, in the philosophy of everything you do. So, you know, when you talk about better business, it really means you as a business, whatever your business is, has to have an integral part of all ESGs and sustainability strategy integrated into it. That's a philosophy.
Okay, thank you. Mariano, you already touched upon this topic about the competencies, the need for the sustainability experts. And here I would like to move to Carolina, who's representing the banking industry, right? The finance industry. Maybe you can share the insight, what is the current need of these sustainability experts, these competencies in the finance industry?
Well, I would say that financial sector actually plays a pretty unique role in the whole sustainability transformation, and because the banks work with financing and investments, and this means that, well, they have ability to influence where the money flows are directed, and the ultimate goal is to direct them to sustainable business. So this is where this new competence of sustainable finance comes in, and it is really pretty new. It is related to sustainable financing and investment, to green assets, to measuring impacts of portfolios. So all this finance stuff. But at the same time, we are also a company which needs to make sure that we are ourselves sustainable throughout the whole ESG spectrum. So this is the part for the corporate sustainability expertise. And then there is actually a number of other roles where sustainability skills and knowledge is needed. So starting from, sustainable procurement, as we spoke, supply chain management aspects, then it's ESG risk analysis, it's business intelligence, it's reporting, which is a growing need in the sector. So I would say this is evolving and very wide and very interesting area. But it's not only for the banks. I think all the sectors eventually will require this competence.
Mm-hmm. And reflecting on your idea that every sector will face this need for sustainability experts, right? So it doesn't really matter if the company is really large or a small, medium enterprise. This need is common for all the companies in the future.
Well, we know that the regulation will first of all hit the big ones. We know that. So the big companies, and that is natural thing because their impact is the biggest on society, on environment, on the ecosystem. And the big ones are starting to prepare already now. They already now are welcoming sustainability experts in their teams because they need to get ready for the upcoming regulation, but at the same time, they need to be able to grasp all the huge new possibilities for business development, the opportunities that sustainability opens. But the smaller companies, I can't say that they can disregard sustainability. They will not be hit at the first stage by regulation, but we are all part of very interrelated ecosystems, and small companies are usually part of supply chain of some bigger company. And when the big one starts, measuring their impact, they will start asking questions from the small one. So this will be the supply chain angle. And then there is, of course, the consumer angle. We know that consumer expectations are changing. And in the purchasing decisions, sustainability becomes more and more important. Then it doesn't matter if you are small or big business, your consumer, your customer will ask you, are you sustainable? So, it only makes sense to start looking at that. And of course, financing. It becomes now obvious that in the future, the more sustainable the company is, the better access to financing in the market will be. And this is also a really strong argument for the business. So my point is that, of course, the most urgent need to dive into sustainability is for the big ones, but everyone has to start doing it.
Everyone will have to follow, right? And
definitely.
As you
if I may add, Miguel, because I think Carolina touched a very important key point and aspect here on the small businesses. There is already an angle when you look at responsible sourcing or procurement or know your customer, where companies like ours, like the big ones, as Carolina mentioned, we already have as part of our ESG strategy to make sure that we're diversifying the supply chain, that we're also procuring stuff from the medium or the small local producer, and also benefiting, depending on where you are in the world, a women business or parts of the society that are segregated, and you need to help them moving up the chain. Therefore, it is also important for us to teach and to start helping the small business to understand that demonstrating that you're paying fair wages, that the way you are producing your stuff, that the way you're paying your taxes, the way you're organized as an organization, no matter how big or small you are, you still need to fit into the criteria of being sustainable. Otherwise, it doesn't matter if you are small and underrepresented, we cannot procure from you if you don't fit in that criteria. So it is imperative also for the small local business to be prepared, because it's a long aspect when you go through know your customer before you can onboard a small company. They need to fit within your ESG strategy and goals and everything you're measuring up against.
Thanks, Mariano, for adding this. I really liked your idea, and in terms of the areas which will be affected the most, right? The procurement, the supply, and the others. Carolina, maybe you have anything to add on this? Which fields, operations, and practices of organization will require the most attention these days or in the upcoming future?
I think that it's wise to start from fundamentals, from the strategy part, and that is something that requires a deep understanding of the ESG framework and also ability to understand how to make it relevant for the specific organization. And this is this corporate sustainability expertise, which we already touched upon a bit. Then there is a growing need, really quickly growing need for sustainability reporting experts. Because of the upcoming regulations, we know that more and more companies will have to report, but at the same time, it becomes like a good practice, good tone to have a sustainability report. And as Mariano said, you can be asked for this report by your partner. If you are a supplier, you can be asked by a bank. So that is something that will need to be tackled. And then, of course, the data analytics, the ESG risk analysis, all these things, these are very, very important. So a very wide scope. But at the same time, let's not forget the whole ESG spectrum. So it's not only environment and risk, it's also the societal aspects like employee safety and well-being, labor right, equality and diversity, human rights. The governance part, very important, like business ethics, anti-corruption, transparency. So a lot of areas for attention, a lot of new challenges for businesses, and then a lot of opportunities for people who want to come and solve them.
Yeah, I would totally agree that all these challenges always open some kind of opportunities for business to take on. So thank you, Carolina and Mariano, for sharing these great insights as the business leaders. Both of your companies are really leading the sustainability trends in the market and the great initiatives. So it was nice having you, and I will invite you at the Q&A session at the end of this info session. Okay, thank you. So let's move to the second part, where I would like to share some slides for you and present some really important information in terms of admission information. One moment. I hope you can see my screen. So, as I mentioned, the early admission has already started at ISM, right? And the end of the admission of early admission is the 30th of April. So basically, if you're considering already to jump into this newly established program and grasp all the potential it offers, so you should definitely follow up the offer from us to join us early by registering at apply.ism.lt, selecting this program, and of course providing all the needed information to you to successfully move through the admission process. So basically, early admission is good in a way that it offers really distinctive financing opportunities that you won't be able to have it in the future in other admission parts. Also, it is for you an opportunity, exclusive opportunity to secure your place at our university. Usually, most of the places are already allocated and distributed to students who apply early. Up to 80% of these places are already booked in the early admission. That's why it's so important. And of course, this time is also great for you to apply is because we, at the moment, waive the application fees. So basically, you can go through the admission procedure without any charge. What I would like to else share with you is what specific opportunities we open for you in terms of financing. So basically, both international and national students have a great opportunity to earn up to 0.5 higher competitive score. And usually one could ask if it changes anything. I would strongly say yes, because the competition is really high. We attract really good, strong candidates with different backgrounds, professional and academic backgrounds, and usually they compete in 0.1 or 0.2 terms. So additional points matter, and you can earn these points based on your international and professional experience, what you can bring to the table and share with your course mates. Also, what's really important is that Lithuanian students can apply and candidate for up to 43% scholarship covering the tuition fee. So basically, candidates with the highest competitive scores will receive a scholarship. And as well, foreign candidates, international students also can apply for scholarship, which covers up to 50% of the tuition fee. Also, both alumnus of ISM University from the bachelor studies who graduated recently or before have a 30% discount for the tuition fee. And also, we have a really distinctive program in Lithuania offered for national students, an accelerated program, which basically gives you an opportunity to study at the moment free of charge and pay for your studies in case only you will earn a certain amount, a certain salary per month. So basically, we're investing in you, believing that you will generate a career return on your investment in studies, and that you will be able afterwards to pay back your study fee in payments. So for you, it's a secure step to go to the master's programs that ISM offers, and specific to this program, Business Sustainability Management, and study free of charge throughout your study time, and only pay when you will earn more than 1,000 euros per month. So basically, this is more or less I wanted to share with you. In the upcoming weeks, we will have as well great news for international students. We will offer another financing opportunity, which will be related to studying and working at the same time in Lithuania. So follow up on the news. We are updating all the time, and I believe it's all that we have to touch at the moment. So for you, it's really important to take out that the early admission is already happening. Around a week left until the end of the admission, and it's the best time for you to secure either the best financing opportunities or your place at this program in specific. So I believe it's our time to move to the Q&A session. And I would like to ask to the speakers of tonight to come back to the screen, Carolina, Mariano, Rene, and Virginia, and let's have a short Q&A session until 7. So I encourage everyone who haven't already addressed the question for us to tackle your question, identify if you want to address it to a specific person. And for this time, I would like to ask several questions which we already received. So Simona is asking, how quantitative is this program? What quantitative courses are planned? I believe this is more or less related to the impact assessment part. So maybe Virginia, you could tackle on this question, and as well Rene, because you will be as well in your course teaching all these tools how to assess different initiatives of ESG.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for a very good question. And as we are quoting Mariano already for several times, this competence of measuring quantitatively is very important, since Mariano mentioned that if you cannot measure, how you can improve. So we will be paying a lot of attention in not only qualitative tools, but quantitative methods to assess impact. So it will be special course devoted to within research methods for sustainability assessment, and also within other courses as well. So this will be really very heavily, I would say, integrated into data analytics competences throughout the program.
Maybe I add a little bit, because I think this is the special feature of this program, yeah, to really not only ask and answer the question why we need sustainability, and not only about this new thinking. This is necessary and will be part of the courses, but then also the question of how to apply it in business. And there we will, of course, with our partners, look at the latest instruments and also measurement models developed, I think, not only in academia, but also in the business world, and also discuss it with the students. And I go even further, say that in the courses, we will work on the development of the next management instruments together. I think this is the idea of the course. So it's not only that we provide information, it's really to work together with the students on a new management paradigm, but also develop the new tools which are needed, and they are desperately needed within the business world. So I think those who are able to develop new instruments and also understand how you can measure it, they will have a very good career afterwards.
I couldn't agree more with you what you already said, René, and I believe Mariano and Carolina could jump in this discussion. Both of you mentioned beforehand that there's no well-developed methodologies and instruments to measure various things, right? I understand that this is quite an issue at the moment for different organizations to follow all these sustainability initiatives and how to evaluate that impact that they are making, right?
Yeah, it is, as Carolina was mentioning, when you talk about the big ones, I think the big companies, the big organizations, so the most, if you speak about climate change, for example, the most polluting industries in the world, they already have something, but when it goes down the chain, it is still underdeveloped or misunderstood. You know, to what René and Virginia were saying, you know, we hope that a partnership with the university and the business, particularly Moody's, we hope we can share with you in depth how we are integrating ESG into our credit rating scores. How are we assessing a risk profiling score for different industries and different businesses? So, I mean, the whole point of the collaboration is that there are already standards. We have data science methodology based to back up our findings. And now we have the academia with other businesses locally to help develop this further for the small and local business.
Carolina, anything to add on this?
Just to agree that measuring is really very important. You have to have your starting point, you have to have the goals. And the problem with the current methodologies is that two problems. One is it's too much, too many of them, and another one, they are very complex. Like if you are a smaller company and you have to start working with greenhouse gas protocol, I mean, it's crazy. So it's really good that EU is planning to have these unified standards, but it's also a sign that we need this competence. We really need that.
Thanks. We as well received a question how this program will contribute to the career development, right? So I believe we already touched upon this point, but another part of this question is which positions I would be able to take after the graduation. And Carolina, both you and Mariano was already touching upon this as well. What interests me is this program only needed for sustainability managers, let's say, or it's much more needed for different and various professionals, specialists within the companies, in different departments of the companies?
So, I mean, I think it covers a lot of, it goes across the spectrum. You know, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you better have a good understanding of what you're up against. As Carolina is mentioning, there are so many complexities around how you're going to be measuring your impact as a business. You know, upskilling, reskilling. How are you measuring the hours that your employees are spending in training, and how can you measure the impact of that training towards their career, towards the business, etc. So there are lots of stuff that you need to know how to measure. Will you have a job right after? Yeah, I mean, I think Carolina has been pretty clear. We're going to have to start fighting for that talent pretty soon. And how can you develop a career if you're going to go into, do you have only a way into sustainability? No, this is going to lead you also into modeling, into data modeling, into software development, into data science, into sustainability, into ESG reporting. I mean, the spectrum is going to be quite big. It really depends what do you want to focus upon.
Carolina, anything to add?
Yeah, I think it's really not only for sustainability managers. Like, you know, if I finish that, will I just be like sustainability manager? No, the sustainability is now the basis for the cultural change in business, and that means that it's very important that the people in the managerial roles, especially people in the boards, in the C-level, that they understand sustainability, because without their buy-in, it is very, very difficult for that sustainability manager to implement all the changes, because they are very complex. And again, in pretty much every function of the organization, you will find some sustainability aspect. So I think this opens up very broad opportunities.
Thanks. And I saw, Renee, you've been reacting. So
yeah, as we said in the beginning, it's an add-in, and that means in every managerial function, you need to have this new mindset and know how to integrate ESG criteria, sustainability into your operational strategic management. So that's basically this paradigm shift in management we are right now seeing. And in combination with the knowledge about new technologies, this is really changing the way how we do business in the future. And I was just talking to a top management person from the car industry, and he made it quite clear there's a political commitment that by 2040 we are carbon neutral, that we have a circular economy in Europe. That's a political idea. That's the need we are going to do in the future. And for this, we need to start now. Why? Because if you develop a car, you have to start now and to develop the product within the next 5 to 7 years. That's 7 years from now. Then the car is in the market for another 7 to 10 years. And then again, you sell it basically for 10 years. And then after this, it will be on the roads for 10 years. So what you do today is already having impact on what is happening in 30 years. So that's exactly. And now the question is, we do have all the technologies. We have all the management instruments mainly developed. Some need still to be developed, but we are close to it. But the question is now how to scale it up in a very necessary speed. And that's where management studies show that is the missing link. And that's where education comes in. So we have the main goal now for all of us is within the next 3 to 5 years to develop as many managers as possible with this new mindset and skills. And as said, the business world is waiting for those. Yeah, so it's basically the main topic and goal now for a business school and a university to exactly be leader of this mental but also instrumental shift in management. And that's where ISM also is taking responsibility, as I see it, as a leading institution to go together with leading companies like we see today in order to bring as many people to this new level of management as possible.
I couldn't agree more with you, and I couldn't wrap up more better than you did it right now. So I believe the ideas you shared, Renee and Mariano, Carolina, and Virginia, really gives an understanding that we have to act now, and that sustainability opens really great opportunities either for organization or for professionals who are seeking their career in sustainability field. So I believe we are running out of time, and I would like to once again thanks for the speakers of tonight who join us in this info session of newly launched business sustainability program. Thank you, Dr. Virginia Poshkute, the program director of this new program, for joining this tonight with us.
Thank you very much, Mingailis. It was a pleasure. And I would encourage everyone who is interested to contact Mingailis or me directly. It would be, I would be more than pleased to answer all the questions in relation to the program. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Renée Schmidt-Peter, as well, for joining and sharing the insights and comparing diving into the polarities of this program.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward to see many students, managers in this program in autumn, and I'm very happy to share more insights when we are in the program. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mariano Andrade Gonzalez, the country head of Moody's Lithuania, for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Mingailis. Thank you, Renée, and thank you, Virginia and Carolina.
And of course, last but not least, Karolina Semenovaitė, Sustainability Manager at Swedbank Lithuania. Thank you for joining and sharing your ideas. Thanks.
Thank you. I'm already thinking it's a pity there wasn't such a program when I started my journey in sustainability. Thanks.
Thanks. So once again, we will be waiting for your questions, for your applications. Apply now. And in case you have any questions, contact us at msc@ism.lt. Thank you, everyone who joined us. Thank you once again for the speakers of tonight, and enjoy your evening. Bye-bye then.